Imagine waking up, grabbing your phone off the nightstand and seeing just dozens of missed messages.
Oh, the absolute worst feeling.
Right. Your stomach just completely drops, and then you open whatever social media app, and there's this viral video of you. And the face is undeniably yours. The voice is unmistakably yours.
But you never did it.
Exactly. You're saying and doing these horrific, just reputation-destroying things. The comments are totally flooded with outrage. And like you said, the only problem is you never actually did any of it. But watching that screen, even you start to second-guess reality for a split second, right?
Yeah, it's terrifying.
It really is. So welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we are looking at a terrifying new reality. Basically, how artificial intelligence is being, weaponized to manufacture targeted harassment.
And it's a chilling scenario, but unfortunately, it is entirely possible right now.
Yeah.
Like today. So our mission for this deep dive is to really decode this insidious new frontier. We need to, look under the hood of these synthetic media tools.
Right. The tools that are out there right now.
Exactly. We need to understand exactly how bad actors are manipulating them. And most importantly, we need to extract the actionable defense strategies from our source today. Because in a landscape where reality can be fabricated, understanding the actual mechanics of that fabrication is, it's our absolute first line of defense.
Okay, so let's unpack this. We're looking at this really eye-opening article from fg-ownyourpower.com today. It's called AI-Generated Harassment, How Bullies Use AI Tools in 2026. And the way I'm conceptualizing this shift, we used to worry about the schoolyard bully, pushing someone into a locker.
Right, the classic physical bully.
Yeah, but now it feels like that same bully basically has a supercomputer in their backpack. They aren't just calling you names anymore. They're bending reality to isolate you.
That is exactly the dynamic we're seeing. And to really understand the severity of this, we have to look at the baseline. Before generative AI just completely exploded, we already had a massive crisis on our hands.
Yeah, I was looking at that 2018 Pew Research study mentioned in the article. Even back then, 59% of U.S. teens reported being cyberbullied.
Almost 60%.
Yeah, almost 60%. And those were basically the analog days of the digital age, so to speak. The most common forms back then were just offensive name-calling, rumor spreading, it was just text messages, whispers, maybe a cruel meme if they were creative.
Right.
So my question is, if the fallout from just basic digital text was already resulting in these catastrophic mental health crises, what happens when we give those same malicious actors the ability to literally manufacture reality?
Well, we see an escalation of just unprecedented proportions. Traditional cyberbullying relies on directness in human networks, right? Like I insult you or I text a rumor to 5 people and I sort of hope they text it to 5 more.
Right. It's slow. It needs people to actively pass it along.
Exactly. But AI augments this entirely by injecting pattern recognition, hyperrealism, and honestly, infinite scalability. It's this massive leap from merely amplifying a hurtful truth or, a plausible rumor to generating a highly realistic, entirely fake reality from scratch.
Which completely circumvents our natural skepticism. If I hear a rumor about you, I might doubt it. But if I see a high-definition video of you doing something, my brain is, it's evolutionarily hardwired to believe my own eyes.
Yes, seeing is believing. It's how we're built.
Right, which naturally brings us to the actual mechanics of this. How are they actually doing this in 2026? We hear terms like voice cloning and deepfakes thrown around a lot. And I have to push back a little here on how accessible this really is.
Okay, go for it.
Because my brain still insists you'd need a Hollywood special effects studio or at least some high-end coding background to pull off a truly believable deepfake.
Yeah, it's a comforting assumption to make for sure, but it is dangerously outdated. What used to require, academic research facilities, massive server farms, and high-budget studios, that's now available to anyone with a standard internet connection, and frequently for free.
Wait, for free?
Oh, absolutely. The democratization of these models is breathtaking, honestly. But in the hands of a malicious actor, it is literally a loaded weapon. No coding degree required whatsoever.
Wow. Okay. So let's talk about how the weapon actually fires, starting with voice cloning. I know the article mentions it only takes a few seconds of audio now, but how does an AI take a 3-second clip from my social media story and suddenly know how to make me say an entire angry monologue?
It's analyzing your acoustic DNA.
Acoustic DNA.
Yeah, so when the AI listens to that 3-second clip, it isn't just recording the sound like a tape recorder. It is mathematically mapping the physical characteristics of your specific voice. It measures the pitch contour, the unique timbre, Even the resonant frequencies of your nasal cavity.
It's mapping my nasal cavity from a video.
From just the audio, yeah. It maps your specific cadence. It analyzes how you transition between phones, which are just the smallest units of sound.
So it's essentially building a whole digital model of my vocal cords.
Exactly. And once it has that model, it doesn't just cut and paste words you've already said. That would sound choppy. It synthesizes entirely new speech. A bully just types whatever they want into a text prompt, and the AI pushes that text through the digital model of your vocal track. It even adds micro hesitations.
Yeah.
And human breath patterns, just to make it sound incredibly organic.
Oh my God, that is deeply unsettling. The idea that AI is remembering to take a breath between fake sentences just to trick the human ear.
It's very effective.
I bet. And then there's the visual side of it. When we talk about deepfakes, I've read a bit about GANs, which is generative adversarial networks. Is this basically like two AIs playing a game of counterfeit cat and mouse?
That is actually a brilliant way to describe it. Tell me how you understand the counterfeiter analogy.
Well, from what I gather from the article, you basically have two neural networks. One is the counterfeiter. I think they call it the generator. And it's trying to create a fake image of me, maybe putting my face on someone else's body.
Right.
And then the other network is essentially the police officer or the discriminator. And the officer's only job is to spot the fake based on like thousands of real photos it has already studied.
Exactly right.
So the counterfeiter makes a fake, the cop spots the flaw, and so the counterfeiter learns from that, tweaks the lighting or the shadows, and just tries again.
Spot on. And they loop through this battle millions of times. The generator keeps failing and adjusting until it finally produces an image or a video clip that the discriminator, which is a highly advanced detection system itself, can no longer distinguish from reality.
Wow.
And at that point, the human eye doesn't stand a chance. But here's the thing. GANs are actually just one piece of the puzzle now. The real leap in hyperrealistic image generation recently has come from diffusion models.
Diffusion models? Okay, I've heard the term, but you're going to have to explain that one to me.
Okay, think of a television screen displaying pure, chaotic, static noise, like the old tube TVs.
Yeah, just gray static.
Right. A diffusion model actually starts with that random static.
Yeah.
But the AI is mathematically guided by a text prompt. So let's say the bully types a photo of the host sitting in a specific coffee shop.
Okay.
Through a highly complex algorithmic process, the AI slowly carves away the static, step by step, pixel by pixel, until the noise is gone and what's left is a flawless, high-resolution image of you in that coffee shop.
Wait, so it's literally conjuring an image out of pure digital noise just based on what it has learned about my face and what coffee shops look like?
Yes. And because it builds the image from the noise up, rather than just cutting and pasting elements together like Photoshop, the lighting, the shadows, the environmental reflections, they all match perfectly.
Because it grew organically, basically.
Exactly. That's why the quality is completely skyrocketed.
All right, so they can steal my face and my voice. But we also have to talk about chatbots. And I'm not talking about, basic customer service bots asking for my account number. I assume you listening are intimately familiar with LLMs or large language models like ChatGPT, but the mainstream LLMs have safety guardrails, right? Like, if I ask a mainstream AI to write a highly manipulative, psychologically damaging text message mimicking a specific person, it's going to refuse.
You're right. The commercial models definitely have those safety alignments. But this brings us to the dark side of open source AI. Malicious actors are taking these open source LLMs and essentially performing a digital lobotomy on them.
A digital lobotomy?
Yeah, they strip away the ethical guardrails, the safety filters, all the content moderation, and then they maliciously fine-tune these models to be aggressive, manipulative, or deceptive.
So they're building localized, uncensored harasser bots on their own computers.
Precisely. The article calls it digital puppet mastering. A bully can use an uncensored LLM to generate an entire personality. They can unleash an autonomous agent to engage a victim in continuous psychological manipulation.
Like pretending to be a friend.
A friend, a romantic interest, an authority figure. And because it's a machine, it operates relentlessly. It doesn't sleep. It doesn't get bored.
God. Which feeds perfectly into the final tool in this whole nightmare arsenal automated amplification.
Yeah.
Because it's not just generating the lie, right? It's forcing the whole world to see it.
It's the echo chamber effect on steroids.
Yeah.
A harasser isn't just sending one fake image to a group text and hoping it spreads organically anymore. They're using automated bot swarms.
Bot swarms.
They blast the synthetic media across multiple platforms simultaneously, and they use hundreds of fake AI-generated accounts to comment on it, like it, and share it.
So they are mimicking organic virality.
Exactly.
I mean, if I see a video with 3 views, I might just ignore it. But if I see a video with 10,000 likes and hundreds of comments debating it, it validates the fake reality. My brain thinks, well, everyone else thinks this is real.
It creates a massive, coordinated hate campaign out of thin air. And it's designed to overwhelm the victim's social environment instantly.
But if this is so prevalent and, frankly, so easy, why aren't the tech giants auto-banning these generations at the source? Why does it feel like the platforms and the law are just asleep at the wheel while victims get crushed?
It comes down to what the source calls the regulatory and ethical gap. Tech moves at the speed of light, but legislation moves at the speed of bureaucracy.
Right.
By the time a lawmaker actually understands what a JAN is and drafts a bill to regulate it, the bad actors have already moved on to localized diffusion models.
Right. It's always a step behind.
And the tech giants face a monumental cat-and-mouse game. Every time they build a new detection algorithm, the open source community figures out a way to bypass it within weeks.
Leaving the victims completely exposed in that gap. And the psychological toll here, I mean, the source brought in data from the Cyberbullying Research Center pointing to a strong correlation between exposure to cyberbullying and severe negative mental health outcomes. We're talking anxiety, depression, suicidal ideation. And that was just for the old text-based bullying.
Right. Now imagine the compounded trauma of this. It completely shatters a person's foundational sense of security. It's one thing to have to say, hey, I didn't send that cruel text message. It is profoundly destabilizing when the bully replies with an audio clip of your exact voice saying it.
Or a hyper-realistic video of you doing something shameful.
Exactly. The burden of proof maliciously shifts to the victim. You suddenly have to prove to your friends, your family, maybe even your employer, that reality is actually real.
And unfortunately, this isn't just about embarrassing rumors. This tech is being used for incredibly dark, exploitative purposes, too.
Yes. A deeply concerning data point from the article comes from the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, NCMEC. They are tracking an alarming rise in entirely fabricated, image-based abuse.
Right.
Historically, online exploitation largely involved the non-consensual sharing of real, intimate images. But generative AI has mutated this. Now, bad actors are taking innocent, public photos of victims, very often teenagers, and using diffusion models to strip away clothing and generate highly realistic, explicit content.
My God. And again, the victim has to somehow prove it's fake while the images are already spreading like wildfire across these bot networks.
It's devastating.
This is heavy, and frankly, it feels a bit overwhelming. But the source material for today's deep dive comes from fg-ownyourpower.com, and the key is really in that name, owning your power.
Yes, absolutely.
I do not want to leave you listening feeling completely defenseless. So if the law is lagging and the platforms are struggling, how do we actually fight an automated machine today?
Well, we have to build our own defense mechanisms. And according to the guide, the first critical line of defense is developing robust digital literacy.
Okay, I have to stop you right there because digital literacy sounds like a massive corporate buzzword. Is it really realistic to expect, like, an exhausted teenager or a busy professional to spot a state-of-the-art deepfake on a 6-inch phone screen while they are scrolling on the bus?
That is a very fair pushback. If you're just looking casually, no, you won't spot it. Upgrading your digital literacy in 2026 doesn't just mean being generally skeptical. It means training your eye to look for the specific artifacts where the AI still struggles.
Okay, what kind of artifacts? Give me the tells.
So for video and images, look at spatial consistency. AI often struggles with the actual physics of lighting like. Does the shadow fall the correct way based on the light source in the room?
Oh, that makes sense.
Look at hands, too. Diffusion models notoriously struggle with the geometry of fingers, often blending them together or literally adding an extra one. Watch the blinking rate in videos. It's often unnaturally rhythmic or entirely absent.
And what about the voice clones?
For audio, listen for a subtle, metallic clipping sound in the background, or an unnatural lack of ambient room noise. Real recordings usually have some background hum.
So it's really about shifting from passive consumption to active forensic analysis, even just for a few seconds before you share or react to something.
Exactly.
But let me throw another wrench in this. Even if I'm like a digital forensic expert and I spot the fake, the damage is often done the moment they harvest my data to make it in the first place. How do we stop them from getting the raw materials?
That brings us to securing your digital footprint. We have to essentially starve the machine of your data. If a voice clone only needs 3 seconds of audio, you have to be highly conscious of where your voice lives online.
But practically, what does that look like? I mean, I can't just delete myself from the internet.
No, but it means aggressive compartmentalization, utilizing strict, granular privacy settings so that only vetted, trusted friends have access to your high-resolution photos, your video streams, and your voice notes.
Lock it all down.
Yeah, and it means scrubbing older, public-facing accounts that you no longer use. The fewer data points an AI has to scrape, the lower the quality of the fake they can generate. You want to make yourself a very difficult target to model.
Starving the model. Okay, but what if I suspect someone is already targeting me? How do I even know if a fake video of me is circulating in some dark corner of the internet?
This requires proactive monitoring. And here is where we actually fight AI with AI. There are automated detection tools and reverse image search engines powered by machine learning that you can use right now.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, you can set up alerts for your name, your handles, and even run your own profile pictures through reverse search databases to see if they've been manipulated and posted elsewhere. You have to actively patrol the perimeter of your digital identity.
All right, worst case scenario. You patrol the perimeter and you find a breach. You are a victim of an AI harassment campaign. The bot swarm is attacking. What is the immediate, real-world action plan?
The absolute most important rule: do not engage with the bully or the bot swarm.
Don't defend yourself.
Do not. Engaging fuels the algorithm. It signals to the automated systems that the content is generating a response, which actually makes it spread faster and wider.
So defending yourself publicly actually amplifies the attack. That is a brutal paradox.
It's brutal. But instead of engaging, go silent and document everything. Take high-resolution screenshots. Save the exact URLs. If there is audio or video, download the actual files before the attacker can delete them and destroy the evidence.
Keep the receipts.
Keep all the receipts. And once you have the forensic proof, utilize the robust reporting mechanisms. Report it to the platform's trust and safety teams immediately. And depending on the nature of the content, especially if it falls under the explicit imagery we discussed, take that documented evidence straight to the authorities.
I know we are covering a massive amount of ground here, and for anyone listening who wants the absolute granular step-by-step breakdown of these defense tactics, fg-ownyourpower.com actually has a comprehensive resource. It's called AI and Deepfake Bullying, the complete 2026 guide. It goes deep into legal rights, specific detection tools, and escalation paths.
It's an essential resource, really, because ultimately surviving this landscape isn't just about an individual locking down their profile. True defense requires collective responsibility.
Yeah, we can't just put the entire burden on a 14-year-old victim to fight off an AI bot farm entirely alone.
Exactly. Tech companies must be pressured to build cryptographic watermarking and detection mechanisms into the foundational AI models before they are ever released.
Right.
Policymakers must consult with technologists to draft agile legislation that penalizes the malicious use of AI, without stifling the underlying innovation. And as a society, we have to weave this hypercritical digital literacy into our educational curriculums from day one.
It requires a cultural shift. We all have to basically agree to stop being passive conduits for unverified outrage. Because if we stop sharing the fakes, the amplification dies.
Precisely. The technology is entirely synthetic, but the psychological devastation is incredibly real. However, by dissecting how these models work, from the acoustic mapping to the diffusion algorithms, we demystify the threat. When you know how the magic trick is done, it loses its power to terrify you.
Which is exactly what we set out to do today. We explored how harassment has terrifyingly evolved from spreading rumors to, fabricating reality. We looked under the hood of the tools, the voice cloning, the JANs, the uncensored LLMs driving the bot swarms.
We covered a lot.
We really did. We acknowledged the massive regulatory lag and the devastating human cost, especially regarding fabricated explicit content. But we also armed ourselves, right? Upgrading our visual forensics, starving the data models, utilizing AI detection, and refusing to engage with the swarms.
Knowledge really is the only way to reclaim your power in a synthetic landscape. As the threats evolve, our resilience has to evolve right alongside them.
And that evolution requires a profound psychological shift, which actually brings me to a final thought I want to leave you, the listener, to mull over. We talked about how the schoolyard bully upgraded to a supercomputer, but the implications of that supercomputer go so far beyond just harassment.
Oh, absolutely.
If we have to assume that any video can be generated from static noise and any voice can be synthesized from a 3-second clip, we are entering an era where the default human setting has to shift fundamentally. I mean, from the beginning of human history, seeing is believing was our baseline. Now our survival requires questioning everything we see and hear.
It is a total recalibration of human trust.
Exactly. So my question for you to explore on your own is this. How will that fundamental recalibration of trust change the way we form relationships? If we can't inherently trust the voice on the other end of the phone or the video on our screen, how do we authentically connect with each other in a digitally mediated world?
That is the big question.
It really is. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive. Keep questioning, keep adapting, and we'll see you next time.